you doing? My name's Jim Riley, Vater artist since 2001. I am the drummer and musical director for the live show for Rascal Flatts. And I've played with Rascal Flatts for the last 10 years, and like I said, I've been a Vater artist for the last 9. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the sticks that I'm using. The stick that I rely on mostly is Vater 5B. You know, the hickory construction makes it really tough. I like this arrow point tip, and the one thing that I like in particular about Vater's 5B model is it's just, you know, it's nice and beefy right here. It you know, prevents it from breakage. And this is my #1 go-to stick live and in the studio. I've got some other sticks that I use as well. I use the Blazer, which is a maple construction stick, lighter. I love the feel of maple. It's got such a fantastic rebound. It's a very fast stick, and anytime that I'm playing, you know, light to medium, that's what I prefer to use, even over the 5B. On this gig, I've used a variety of different sticks. On this gig, I find myself in a lot of varied musical situations, and some of the other implements that end up leaning on are the splash sticks, which are fantastic for, you know, again, for acoustic type things, great for playing train beats. You know, the sound that they've got on cymbals is amazing. I've also found myself using the Monster Brush Live, which is just a big, you got to check it out, man. It's a big fat sound. Vater's version of this implement is definitely the best that I've seen in its class, because of its durability. Is unmatched by anything else that's in the industry that may look similar, and it's an absolutely amazing sounding thing, and the durability is off the chart. And I also use the wire brushes on this gig live. I'm using the heavy wire brushes, you know, which just for obvious reasons, for the durability factor out here. They're really great, and they've got a fantastic touch. You know, from you know, stirring the soup to playing some really light stuff. You know, the articulation even on the heavy brushes is really great. In my teaching, you know, I go, you know, all over the map. You know, from using you know, the marimba mallets to using the concert sticks. You know, Vater has a full line of implements that, you know, that not only are great, you know, in the rock and roll world, but you know, they've really got what you need in the educational world covered as well. And so, you know, I've been really happy with all of that stuff. You know, from the earliest age, I knew I wanted to be a professional musician. I didn't really know that I wanted to be a drummer until I saw a commercial for a Kiss tour that was coming out. I saw Peter Criss on that riser, and saw that riser just kind of coming up with the cat under it and this huge drum set, and I was just like, that's the job that I want. And you know, as a young kid, that was a real big influence on me. I started playing drums when I was in the 6th grade, and started studying, and ended up, you know, growing up in Massachusetts. Of course, I was right in the you know, the backyard of some of the greatest manufacturing companies in the world, but also I was in the backyard of, you know, these guys that were playing in the Boston Symphony Orchestra, and so I ended up taking lessons with Arthur Press from the Boston Symphony, and being exposed to the Boston music scene for a long time in high school. I actually decided to make a change, and I went to the University of North Texas, where I got my degree in music education, and that was a fantastic experience down there, because I mean, I remember thinking my freshman year, wow, there's so many good players just in this little small town, I can't imagine what the rest of the world is going to be like. And then I realized, that these guys, Matt Chamberlain and Keith Carlock and my friend Jason Sutter, that's now playing with Foreigner, and just there was just this sick amount of great players in that area, and so it was a really hotbed, for creativity as a drummer, and it was very inspiring to be there. Cutting the story short, I moved to Nashville in 1997 to pursue a career, what I wanted to be, which is a professional musician. I really dreamed of touring, kind of going back to looking at my original rock and roll dreams of the late 70s and 80s. I would see those arena rock bands, and that's what I wanted to do. And the interesting thing about the world is it's always changing, and that world isn't really the same world. The one we dreamed of isn't the one we grow into. And the interesting thing is this job with Rascal Flatts is probably the closest thing to what I had originally dreamed of doing. When I was a kid, the arena shows and the amphitheater shows and the stadium shows and the things that I've been able to accomplish out here with Rascal Flatts. I always dreamed of playing on the Grammys and playing on the Tonight Show and playing on Letterman and playing on platinum records, and I've gotten to do some things that I never dreamed about. Like being in a major motion picture, or being in a appearing on a TV drama. Like it's just like there's crazy things you never expect. One thing that I did this year that was actually unrelated to Rascal Flatts was I actually played on the Madden Football 11 soundtrack, which is a trip because my buddies were just on the bus playing Madden 11, and then I'm hearing Rock and Roll #2 with Gary Glitter, except it's not Gary Glitter, it's actually me playing drums and doing the vocals, which is really it's kind of a trip. And it's crazy to think that of all the recording projects that I've done, that's the one that probably more people around the world will hear. So music's been able to bring me to a lot of places, and it's why I really love to give back. As I'd mentioned before, I've got my degree in music education. I've always had a passion for education, and Vater Percussion has been behind that passion. Since I began my formal relationship with them in 2001. They've been a fantastic sponsor of my clinics and all of my educational endeavors. And it's one of the things that I really dig about Vater is, they really get that. And they get that, the future drummers, the future star drummers of today, of tomorrow, are 12 years old today. And so we want to put the right sticks in their hands. We want to get them started right, and Vater really gets that. I really appreciate that about them. Nashville is a very interesting town. When I moved there in '97, all I was hearing from the old guard was, "Man, you really missed it." And I guess in some ways I did. The days of triple scale sessions, 6 days a week, for multiple players is over. There's not as many records being made in Nashville. But at the same time, when I got there in '97, there was a lot of opportunities to play live. My first road gigs with a guy named Mark Chestnut. It was a great gig. Ended up playing some with Hank Williams III, and gave both of those jobs up to, start out with this, unknown upstart group, Rascal Flatts. Everyone thought I was crazy at the time. It seemed to work out pretty well. It's an interesting town because, as much as the music business is changing and evolving, in some ways shrinking, it's still a place where, people can see, you can see the music business, you can feel the music business there, and people understand that it's a great place to go to get involved with it. And as much as I can say, there's not as much work as there used to be, that's the same stuff the old guys were saying to me when I was a kid, when I moved to town. So my advice is if you believe in yourself and you have a passion for playing music and passion for playing for the song, and you're interested in touring and studio, I mean, I can't think of a better place to be. And I've definitely encouraged young players to look at it, because the diversity of music that you'll find in Nashville is really fantastic. And obviously, it's been great for me. I can't complain at all. Television's a very interesting thing because it's so instant. People ask me, when you go out in front of 20,000 people or 30,000 people, are you nervous? And the truth is, I've been doing this now for so long that it's my office. It's the place that I go to work, and I don't really get swayed either way by the audience. That's not my job. My job is to be, there with the energy and to be as consistent as possible, and to try to be, the one, kind of calling the plays back there and getting us through the show on a nightly basis. Playing the live shows is one thing, but like I'll never forget the first time we were on the Tonight Show and I hear Jay Leno say, "Ladies and gentlemen, Rascal Flatts," and the curtain comes up and you're going, holy crap, this is that moment, And as many times as I've played in front of 30, 40,000 people, that first time that curtain came up, man, it was like, and that's the thing, that you prepare for. So young players, something that I recommend is, put yourself in that situation as much as you can, playing in front of people, playing recitals, doing whatever you can, playing gigs, playing in front of as many people as you can, because it really helps prepare you in some way for those moments, to go, okay, I got to calm my nerves, I got a job to do. And it's really gratifying when you go, yeah, I was able to, kind of really come through in that situation. And, when we played the Grammys and we were playing an Eagles tribute, and I look out on the fifth row and there's Don Henley, and you're going, that's pressure right there. But those are also the moments that you never forget. So all the television stuff we've got coming up is really fun. I hope you get to check out a little bit of it. Here on the Flats Tour, we've got to represent my boys and girls over at Vater, and as a special treat, they've got a sweet spot on the drum head here. This is actually, people have asked me, why do you need 4 kick drums? And I think the answer is relatively simple. For the drinks, baby, the drinks. Now, it's all in good fun, man. This kit's kind of my homage to Alex Van Halen. I try to do something crazy on all these tours, to play the kits that we all admired and drooled over when we were kids. So I had to pull out the Octobans and the cooler kick. But like I said, it's all in good fun. Jim Ryan with Rascal Flatts. Let me tell you something. If you do not play these sticks, there is something wrong with you. Vater.
You say, girl, we do something crazy. Quit putting it off. You know what I say.